Hey guys, it's Rachel from the Little Ring Lamb, and today I have a book review on Hausfrau by Jill Alexander Essbaum. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yet again, I forgot to look up how to pronounce it properly before I started this review. That is my fault. I'm very sorry. Also, if I'm looking down or over, I'm looking at my notebook. This review will be spoiler free, and I rate my books in 5 different categories: plot, characters, cover, suspense, and overall in terms of reading it very soon. 5 out of 5, not so soon. 1 out of 5. So this book, I read it as my first book of the booktubeathon this year, 2017. And basically, it could have put me in a reading slump, not like after I finished the book. Like a book hangover, that's what I meant, book hangover. It was so good, and I wasn't expecting it to love it as much. Like, I knew it was a very popular book, especially if you went to a Chapters in Canada around that time. I'm not sure how popular it was elsewhere, but anytime I went to a Chapters, I saw this book all over the place, and the hype was definitely real, and I feel like it was very justified. But yeah, this book is basically about a housewife named Anna. She has started having affairs, and her husband is unaware of this. It's not like a situation like that. And it kind of, there kind of has a snowball effect, and it kind of, tumbles into every aspect of her life, and the lies keep getting bigger. And it's very hard for me to sum this up because obviously it is contemporary, but she's unable to connect with her husband Bruno. That is why she starts these affairs. She's taking a German language class and she meets new friends, but tensions escalate in her household and her life starts to spin out of control. I'm just looking at the inside flap if you're wondering why this is so eloquent. And basically, it's an intimate, intense, and written with the precision of a Swiss Army knife. Her debut novel is an unforgettable story of marriage, fidelity, sex, morality, and most especially guilt, or self, not guilt. But basically, it's shows with honesty and great beauty how we create ourselves, how we lose ourselves, and the sometimes disastrous choices we make to find ourselves. And this book, also, if you're a younger reader, this is more of a general fiction book, and it does have cuss words in it, and it does have sexual language. So if you're a younger viewer and that is not something you want to read about, it does have that, just for a disclaimer, because I know might not know from the cover. Plot, I give this a 5 out of 5. It was a really good plot. I loved how it moved. The chapters were just, some of them were longer, some of them were shorter. I absolutely adored this book, and I can't stop gushing about it. Yes, it's based on like a lot of topics and cheating and stuff like that, which I'm not a fan of, and I don't endorse, but it was I really just enjoyed this book. It was dark, it was twisted, but at the same time, it's compelling. You want to read. You want to know what was going to find out more about Anna's life and why she's doing these acts and all the consequences of an affair. And it really reminded me of when you're studying English literature, when you read books like Gothic books, where all the family secrets get exposed, or older literature, like people said, it reminded them of Madame Bovary, which I have not read, but it was giving me those vibes because I know enough about it because one of my classes I took in university, we discussed at length because it was a French culture class. And that was a very popular novel at the time period that we were discussing. So it was kind of giving me old literature vibes, but it was modern and up to date, and it had this dark, twisty path kind of weaved into it, and it was very interesting. Characters, I give a 5 out of 5. Did I connect with all the characters and relate to them? Not at all. But did I think these characters were complex? I really enjoyed Anna's back and forth with her therapist. She would say something in the chapter, like a word, and the therapist would analyze the word, and then it'd kind of bring on to a new thing. So it'd be for example, I'm just going to say a random word. So for example, she'd be like, I'm enraptured with something in the book. And then the therapist would be like, when you're enraptured with something, how do you feel? It'd be kind of analyzing certain words and key things she was saying. And I feel like Anna, though, wasn't relatable to me, but she was a 3-dimensional character. You could see she had depth to her. She had layers, and I enjoyed that. And all the characters had some sort of layer, which was interesting to unravel throughout the novel, which is why I give them a 5 out of 5, which is very rare for me because I feel like if I don't connect with the characters, I don't get them a really high score. But in this case, I didn't relate to the characters, but they had so much depth that how could I not? And cover, I give a 5 out of 5. This cover is honestly gorgeous. It's one of the reasons that I originally looked at the synopsis of this book because it's just stunning. And if you take off the dust jacket, it's just an orange and red kind of, it's not really special underneath the cover, but it more so makes up with this beautiful cover. This is one of my favorite covers. It's just so pretty. Suspense, I give a 5 out of 5. I read this all in one day. Yes, it was the booktubeathon, but I think if I had the day free like I did when I did the booktubeathon, and I was reading this, I would have still read it all day. It was really good. It was a reading. I read it all in 24 hours. And overall, I give it a 5.5. I definitely reread it. It is one of my favorite books so far of this year. And this has been my review on Hausfrau by Jill Alexander Essbaum. If you've read this, definitely let me know what you think. And if you know any other novels like this, and they're like as well formed, definitely let me know. I'm going to just put that down because it's like glaring off the camera. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.